I have this recurring dream.
The same house.
In the woods.
It was dark.
In the dark.
The apocalypse.
There was always this person after me, and it was always the same person.
Lightning.
The house I grew up in.
Tap dancing on the moon.
Being chased.
Nobody could hear me.
They have human hands, but the hands don't have thumbs.
They couldn't see me.
Evil mercenary type men.
Hoping that someone could hear me, but no one ever hears me.
I would yell for help.
Giant mutant twilight werewolves.
The storm raging.
I just knew I had been there before.
Glass shattering.
Frozen in fear.
Travel to other planets.
But I can't move.
The voice would continue to call, "Come here. I can fix this."
Welcome to the Stranger Than Fiction podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Adam. And this is our final regular episode of the 2018 season.
Woot woot!
On this one, we are talking about dreams. You know, those things that everyone has at night, but some can actually remember. Before we get too far into it, I wanted to remind everyone interested that we'll be doing a live show on December 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be revisiting our favorite topics from the season and hitting stuff that we forgot or missed, and taking your questions and comments. Hope you'll consider joining us, but you can check out our website, stftalk.com, or our social media pages for more details.
I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to be able to talk to people in real time, ask questions, hopefully negate some of the stuff that I say, some of the stuff that you say. Maybe
no, they'll only negate things that you say.
Positively attribute some of the stuff that I say, some of the stuff that you say. So please join in on that because that'll be fun.
Yep, we're looking forward to it. So dreams. Everybody should know what a dream is, but basically a dream is a succession of images, ideas, emotions, and sensations that usually occur involuntary in someone's mind during certain stages of sleep. The stuff we dream about and the reason or purpose for dreams is still widely debated today, and it's not fully understood.
What do you feel like the reason for us dreaming is, Adam?
I mean, we'll get into, so there's two main kind of fields of thought relative to this.
Do you have the Ferris thought process on that list?
Okay, no, maybe there's three, but...
There's three then.
Well, so I guess you have a specific theory on this?
Yeah, no, I just want to know why do you feel dreaming isn't something that it should be normal, right? It doesn't make sense in the brain. No psychology has ever been able to figure it out. No psychologist has ever been able to figure out. What is your reason? Why do you feel like we dream?
All right, well, I'll tell you, but let me first cover some of the widely accepted kind of approaches first before I steal their thunder, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
So the most prominent initial one was kind of established by a guy you may have heard of, Sigmund Freud, right?
Yeah, of course.
Famous dude. He discussed dreams a lot, actually. And he wrote a book about them called The Interpretation of Dreams in 1900.
Have you read it?
Absolutely not. No, it's probably really long.
Is it not audible?
I don't know. I mean, maybe if Morgan Freeman read it, I might listen to it or something.
All right, okay.
But basically, he said that the symbolism of dreams was encoded in the dreamer's subconscious desires and concerns, and surprisingly, often had a sexual nature to them.
Of course, but don't you feel like everything that Freud said had a sexual nature to it?
That's why I said surprisingly in a sarcastic tone.
Okay, calm down. Sorry.
So basically, he said the unconscious expressions of wish fulfillment, and this was due to repressed longing. So, I mean, we could probably talk a lot about Freud, and he's probably, to your point about everything about sex, he's probably a good topic maybe for next season in general, but he's kind of one field of thought around dreams and the reasons we dream is just this subconscious desire and concern or kind of fixation with sex. Is one. Is
it safe to say that you don't believe that he is the end-all, be-all of why we dream?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say I don't agree with that.
I agree with that too.
You agree with that, like me?
I would agree with you against Freud. So I agree with you. I agree with you, and not Freud.
Not to get too sidetracked on Freud, but I feel like Freud is like that kid that, like, he just like tries to answer every question. Oh, what blah blah blah. What's this answer to this? Sex.
Yeah.
What's the answer to this? Sex.
Yeah.
Everything.
Well, that's a fair comparison. I compare Freud to, for those of you that have ever watched Ancient Aliens, that guy that says like everything, or that meme that says everything is aliens. That's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing. Like, sex or aliens, it doesn't matter. That's what Freud positions himself as. The everything leads back to some sort of sexual traumatic experience, or just sexual experience as a whole. Yeah, I don't like Freud.
I mean, yeah. So I don't agree with that one, but it's definitely one of the first kind of thought processes, and still a prominent one. The other major one was came about in the 1950s by a guy named Calvin Hall, who was a psychology professor at Case Western University. He actually went about this in a way I appreciate, collecting a lot of data. So he collected and recorded people's dreams. And he did this by, essentially surveying a lot of different people of various age groups, nationalities, and he collected over 50,000 data points over like 30 or 40 years. And he had a coding system, and he essentially treated each dream like it was a story. And, his findings, after he kind of had this data, which is a pretty large, significant data set, were very, very much in opposition from Freud's. And if you just boil it down, he pretty much said that our dreams are our imaginations unleashed, and they have limited ties to our waking world.
Do you want to know my problem with this?
I would love to know your problem with this.
Is that he doesn't specify what the data points are. He says that he gathers dreams, right? Like a fucking dream catcher. I don't feel like you can say that you gather dreams as a legitimate researcher.
No,
because
okay.
nobody.
So, I mean, maybe you didn't look into much of Hall's work, but he did. He built this big database.
Come on, go ahead.
So from these surveys and interviews, he recorded, among other things, the dream setting, the number of characters in the dream, the number of those people's genders, if there was any dialogue, what that dialogue was, what happened in the dream, was it pleasant, was it frightening, and then he collected different data points about the dreamer, such as their age, their gender, where they lived, and basically, built this data set that you could then analyze and draw conclusions from.
Did you just say analyze?
Analyze.
Okay, analyze. But how is he collecting this data? Is he collecting it in real time as the dreams are happening?
No, you can't. That's
or
impossible.
after?
That's impossible.
Yeah, that's exactly my case. Is he's relying on humans to tell him what their dreams were about. And you and I both dream. Everybody that is going to listen to this has dreamed before. There is no way that you can remember every stinking detail of your dream. I know I can't. You know that you can't also remember every detail of your dream. So these data points that he's collecting is, I think I said that, or I think that was a detail as well. So I don't trust humans as a data point if you're not collecting it directly from the dreams.
So, you can't collect it directly from the dreams.
I know, that's why this is so fucky.
But I think that there are proven techniques that you could use to improve your ability to recall your dreams, such as a dream journal or diary.
Okay, go ahead.
And you start writing your stuff down as soon as you wake up, and you can remember a lot more details over time. You can train your brain. It's a fact.
Okay.
Side note, we did spend our week off, Allison and I, doing some of these exercises.
Did it fucking work?
The amount of details that I could remember when I could remember a dream did improve, I think. So it was a short period of time. So yeah, over a longer period of time, I think it absolutely does work.
I want to hear those examples.
What? Of my dreams?
Of you being able to remember more than you did when you weren't doing it.
Well, when I wasn't doing it, I couldn't remember almost jack shit.
Well, you can. Okay, well, I feel like we're going to digress for this, so just continue on.
Well, no, I think it's important to note that Adam never remembers his dreams, like ever.
Yeah, but I don't feel like that's indicative of what we're talking about.
Well,
what are you talking about?
He's been using some of these techniques over the last week, and then over the last few days since using them, he's like, "Oh, I'm actually starting to remember my dreams." That is improvement.
No, that's not that is not a.
That is absolutely improvement.
No, that is I started to remember my dreams more than normal because I tried to remember my dreams more than normal. That is not a...
Yes, exactly. You're training your brain. Oh my god.
No, you're not training your brain.
Yes, you are. Yes.
It's like a test. If I don't realize that I have to take the test and I do the information and fail, of course you're going to fail. If I then have to try to remember the information, then I can remember the information. That doesn't mean that I know it. That just remembers that I have some sort of memory of it.
You are so wrong.
I don't
on this
believe you
point.
guys in this sense. So
We're going to definitely come back to this issue, I think, here in a little bit when we start talking about some different aspects of dreaming.
Okay.
But to go back to Hall real briefly, at least,
okay.
I want to at least highlight with some of Hall's data, whether or not you believe it or not, some of the conclusions that he drew with his data set. And actually, with his data set, he would get to the point where if you told him what your characteristics were about your person, he could pretty accurately predict the cast of characters in your dream and forecast what was going to happen or what you would have dreamed about with the most probability. But basically, his data showed that a dream featuring a man whom the dreamer doesn't know in real life almost always entails a plot in which the stranger is aggressive. Adults tend to dream of other people they know, while kids tend to dream mostly about animals.
Or ghosts.
or ghosts, sure. About 3 out of every 4 characters in a man's dream will be other men. So a lot of times a man is dreaming mostly about other men.
I think Freud would have a lot to say about that.
Well, we're done talking about Freud. Just another episode.
I kind of want to go back to it now.
Women tend to encounter an equal number of males and females. Most dreams take place in a dreamer's home or offices. And if they go somewhere, they often drive in cars or walk there. And college students dream most about sex. You're deep in thought there.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree.
You don't agree with his data set?
And I don't agree with that data set. Yeah, I mean that's basically what it boils down to.
How can you disagree with data?
Because I've had dreams. 2, dreams. There is no way, as you said, there is no way to calculate dreams or to collect dreams. So you're relying mostly on the stories of people that have had the dreams.
Yes,
and I know that I've had dreams. I know that I've told stories of dreams. And I don't think my representation of the dreams is equal to what I tell people the dreams are.
Okay. Have you ever written a dream down?
No, because I'm fucking sleeping.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Okay, let me rephrase my question, Your Honor. When you awoke, have you ever subsequently written your dream down?
No need.
Okay.
What do I need to do that for?
Now, if you did that, you would find that then your retelling of said dream would be more in line with what you recalled.
No. Adam, I could literally wake up and I could have a dream about me and you hugging in the basement right now. And I could wake up and say, wow, that was a good dream. But
of course
there was also there was a fucking alien that was laying on the bed while we were hugging. And by the way, we were in this weird dimension that nobody else knows about. So there was an alien. My dream originated with, I know for a fact, my dream was us hugging. There was an alien on the bed. We are in a dimension that nobody else knows about. Who else is going to prove that wrong? Who else is going to prove that wrong?
That's just an embellishment.
Humans embellish because we don't know the true details. We don't know. We forget. Sometimes I might have thought there was an alien or a ghost or something in that corner where we were hugging that I'm just going to include in my goddamn weird-ass journal that I keep on my bed. We're just trusting. I don't trust data that isn't collected based off of human. If you talk about, the Kennedy assassination is a great example. There's several great examples of human recall that doesn't even fucking make sense, that isn't right. So you can't trust dreams when people are in a sleeping
If you
state.
could have all those witnesses write down exactly what they saw at that fucking moment, it would be more accurate than asking them about it 2 months
But
later.
they're not.
yes,
But
that's
they're
very
not
true.
writing it down at the exact moment. They're writing it down as they remember it, because in the moment they're sleeping. When they're